I'm Tom and welcome to Dubs for Adventures. Now, this is a new YouTube channel, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to be documenting and showing all the different things to do with Volkswagen camper life. And also I have a BMW Z4 and that's going to be part of the channel as well, but that's going to be like mainly like a summer type of like car and project car. Mainly we're going to be focusing on the Volkswagen campervan side of things. Now, what I want to do is I want to get you up to speed as to why I've got the van and the process behind getting the van and where we're at now. And then I want to explain what we're going to be doing with the channel and the type of things that I'm going to be doing so that you can come along and obviously see what we do and so on. Right, so okay, I'm going to take you back around about 18 months. I used to own a sports car and I had it for about 4 years, and basically I did not do hardly any mileage on it. I didn't even do 1,000 miles in about 4 years. It was sat in the garage, and me and Brooke, who's the girlfriend, we like travelling a lot, going to different places, you know, not only abroad but obviously in England and so on. We like going to Scotland, we like going down south to Cornwall and places, and we used to like go to these places in a car and, you know, obviously maybe stay in a hotel and things like that because we enjoy travelling. A couple of years ago we went to Cornwall. And what we did was we travelled during the night so that when we got there we would basically get there early and miss all the traffic. But when we got there we couldn't check into this log cabin until about 4 o'clock, and we ended up trying to lie, because we travelled during the night, we ended up trying to lie down in the car and things like that, and it was so uncomfortable. And Brooke made the comment, wouldn't it be so good if we had a camper van? Well, that was it, the seed was planted. So we spoke about it a little bit and so on. Anyway, we did the holiday, came back from Cornwall, and when we got home, I started sort of like looking into, well, it would be good if we had a camper van because we do a lot of travelling and things like that. Now, I don't know anything about camping. I'd never been camping before, never stayed in a camper van and things like that. So, as I said, the ball started rolling and, you know, we started talking about it, and then we were saying, well, if we did have a camper van, the places we could go, the things that we could do, and it all sounded good in theory. You know, and so we decided, right, let's start looking at maybe, you know, getting a camper van possibly. So the first thing we decided to do, we decided to sell the sports car. So we sold the sports car, got the money, and then I started looking into getting a van. Now, straight away, I knew that if I was going to get a van, the van that I wanted, it had to be a Volkswagen. There is no technical reason for this. There is no mechanical like knowledge that I have or anything. I just wanted a Volkswagen, and because they were so popular, and from what I knew, they're very reliable, and it seemed to be, if you wanted a camper van, that's the camper van to go for. So we started looking at them. Now, the process of looking for a camper van was quite a stressful one, because I didn't just want a panel van that had been used as like a plumber's van or a builder's van that had been battered and so on. I wanted a nice clean van, you know, low mileage, low owners. I also had a tick list. You know, I wanted like a tailgate. I didn't want the barn doors up and outwards, because I wanted it to look like a camper van when I finished. So we started looking and so on, and it became quite stressful because I knew what I wanted and I just couldn't find it. For the ones that I wanted, they were like crazy money. So, you know, that was like a no-no. So I started thinking I'm going to have to compromise on the type of van that I get. Maybe I will have to get the tailgate, sorry, the barn door ones that open, and so on. I didn't really want the 88 brake horsepower, you know, engine with the basic van and so on. But I thought, if this is what I have to do, this is what I have to do. So we started looking. I looked at a lot. I looked at a lot of Volkswagen vans, but I just wasn't feeling it. They just looked like battered old vans. So anyway, 8 months later, you know, I was quite disheartened. You know, didn't really know if I was going to get one, and obviously during this process, me and Brooke have been discussing, oh, wouldn't it be great if we had one, you know. So by this point, I really wanted one. And every time I went looking at a van, I was like, oh, I'll just buy it and I'll do this and I'll do that. But obviously that's a wrong way to buy any vehicle when you you know, you just get that fever thing where it's like, yes, I want it, I want it. So anyway, then one day I was just flicking through some adverts and so on, and I seen a van that was for sale, and it wasn't far from where we lived. So I thought, it looks quite nice. You know, let's go and have a look at it because it's not far. Anyway, when we got there and started looking at it, I was pleasantly surprised, because when the van was advertised, there was a lot of extras on the van that had been done that hadn't been advertised. So, you know, so I was looking around and you know, basically, like, some of the things that was on it that wasn't advertised, the van had been lowered, had alloys on it. You know, it was the mid-range sort of like engine as far as BHP goes and everything. It had the tailgate, and most importantly, in the back, it was a blank canvas. It was basically just a panel van. Now, if you take a look at the very first video that I've put on this channel, I think it's only on for about a minute, but it actually shows the pictures of the van when I bought it, what it looked like when I bought it. So if you want to have a look at that, just have a look, and then you'll know exactly what I'm talking about as to what it looked like. So when I was looking at it, I thought, it's pretty much exactly what I wanted, you know, and finally I found one. And it only had one owner, full service history, and relatively low mileage. And it was in the price range that we could pay for it. So we did the deal, ended up buying the vehicle, and obviously we got it home. And again, if you look on the first video, you'll see the very first picture of when I took it. It was parked on our drive. Okay, now that was 18 months ago. I've now had the vehicle for obviously around about that time, and during that time I've had quite a bit of things done to the van. Now what I'm going to do, rather than just go through everything and list everything in one video, what I've had done and so on, what I'm going to do is, after this video, I'm going to put another video on, and I'm going to show you around the outside of the van, going to show you like what I've had done to it and so on. Because I've not had a conventional type of conversion done. And like I said, it's not even finished yet anyway. Most people, they have the units that go down the side of the van, they have a 3/4 bed, you know, the typical type of layout. But what was important for me was, I knew that if we went to a campsite or was wild camping or we went somewhere, what's important to me is where I actually sleep. Now, rather than be cramped in and everything, I wanted a bed that if I'm lying in there, I want it to be comfortable and so on. Because if we do stay in a campsite, I don't intend to stay in the van. I tend to be out looking, exploring new places and so on. So, you know, it wasn't important that it had to be a certain way, you know, to sort of like live in it, because I don't want to be, I want to be out of the van as much as possible when I go somewhere. So we decided, you know, I've got a full length bed fitted, you know, full width and everything. Now, the other reason that that's relevant to us is because we have a little fur baby, Thor, our dog. Everywhere we go, he comes with us, because he's our little baby. And before we got Thor, you know, we used to do the holidays abroad and things, and I used to hate leaving him behind. And anyone that's got dogs, they'll understand that. He's our little boy, and when we go on holiday, he comes with us. So that's the reason that obviously, you know, we first of all started looking at getting the van. We got the van, and since we've had the van, we've been to Cornwall a couple of times. We've been to Scotland a couple of times. Now, obviously, I didn't have a YouTube channel then, so what I'm going to do in another video is I'm going to put like some pictures together and so on, and like let you have a look at the type of things that obviously go into like a whole campervan holiday when you own a dog. Now, the other thing that I'm going to do when I'm doing videos for the channel is, if you've never had a campervan before, there's some certain things that you would think are quite basic, but can actually become quite stressful. I'll just give you one example of this, and again, I'm going to do other videos and go into it, like the reality of when you go places. And one of the like main issues that we had is, obviously we have a dog. What if we go somewhere? What if it's chucking it down with rain? What if it's muddy where we are? You're in a confined space in the back of a van, you want it to be clean. you know, little things like how you're going to keep the dog clean, how you're going to dry him in the van and things. All these things that's involved in camper life, I'm going to go into, and you know, we're going to do all that. The other side of it, the way that I want the channel to progress is, obviously when we're travelling around, I want you guys to come along with us, see what we do, see the kind of things that we get up to, and the adventure side and the fun side of owning it, and going, obviously, and going to places. The other side is, there's going to be modifications that I've still not done to the van. Like I said, it's a lifelong project, and you know, there's things that I'm going to be doing. All the things that I've done, I will go into detail and show you and things. And like I said, we also have a sports car as well, and obviously that's going to be part of the channel, and that's going to be doing things with the car for you to obviously to look at as well. So I'm going to leave that video there. Basically, it was just an introduction of who I am, why I've got the van, and like I say, if you look at the past video, you'll see what the van looked like then, and obviously we're going to progress, and as each video goes by, I think it's going to take about 3 or 4 videos before we get to the stage where we're up to date with everything as to where we're at, so that then at the end of this year we're going to Cornwall, and then next year we're actually going abroad. So that's the direction that I want it to go in. Now, when I was setting the van up and, you know, doing things and inquiring about how camper life works, I had hundreds and hundreds of questions, and some of them were not always answered and stuff because some people don't know. Now, if you guys have got any questions, anything that you might want to know, please feel free to leave a comment, ask me, because that's part of what the channel is going to be about. I want you guys to give me ideas as well, you know, give me recommendations of campsites to go to, things that I can do to the van, ideas that, you know, you might have, and so on. So if I can help you guys with anything, hopefully you guys can help me with things. So I'm going to leave a video at that. Like I said, it's going to take a couple of videos to build up to obviously who we are, where we're at, what we're doing, and what I want to be doing. So I'd appreciate if anybody has watched this, and if they would subscribe and so on, and if you leave likes and stuff, it just shows that, you know, I'm doing something right. Like I said, this is the first video. I've probably rambled on a little bit, but like I said, we'll get there, and on the next video I'm going to show you around the van and inside the van and show exactly what's been done. So thanks for watching, hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll speak to you guys soon. Thank you.